Disclaimer: the story you're about to hear is based on real events. It contains descriptions of violence and tragedy that may be distressing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to stay updated with all our latest content. Let's dive in. A mother cradling her 2-year-old child was gunned down on a Birmingham, Alabama street, right in front of her young children. Justina Wallace, who had moved to the city to chase her aspirations, tragically lost her life at the hands of another woman, Aaniyah Nowden, who was also expecting a child fathered by the same man. Aaniyah later confessed that she couldn't bear the idea of Justina using her pregnancy to claim the man they both had ties to. What started as a confrontation spiraled into a devastating tragedy that shattered a family and stunned the local community. At the time of this heartbreaking event, 36-year-old Justina Wallace was eagerly awaiting the arrival of her 6th child. Originally from Boynton Beach, Florida, she had settled in Birmingham to build a new life. Justina had previously attended Boynton Beach Community High School, but later returned to education, enrolling at Miles College with plans to earn a degree in business management. Justina had always dreamed of opening her own boutique, a goal she held close despite the many challenges life had thrown her way. Known for her bright and joyful demeanor, she remained resilient and optimistic, endearing herself to those around her. Her life took a dark turn after she became involved with a man who would indirectly contribute to her untimely death. The two had a child together, and for a time, things appeared stable. However, trouble began when he entered a relationship with another woman, 21-year-old Aaniyah Nowden, and fathered her child as well. The situation escalated on July 7th, when both women learned they were pregnant by the same man, a revelation that neither welcomed. Accusations flew as they blamed each other for stealing the man and attempting to secure his loyalty through pregnancy. Their simmering tensions came to a tragic head during a chance encounter. Just 2 days before the birthday celebration, Justina had lovingly planned for her 2-year-old daughter. Skye, Aaniyah, visibly pregnant, drew a gun during an argument and fatally shot Justina. The devastating act left a family shattered and a community reeling. Justina Wallace did not deserve to meet such a tragic and senseless end. She was a driven, hard-working woman who poured her heart into providing the best life possible for her family. Her deep love for her children was reflected in every action, and those who knew her admired her dedication and care as a mother. Her outgoing personality and warm spirit left a mark on everyone she encountered. Ambitious and full of life, Justina had a remarkable gift for spreading joy and lifting the spirits of those around her. Her close-knit circle of friends cherished her for her loyalty, loving nature, and unwavering authenticity. The devastating event unfolded just before 7 p.m. on Friday, July 7th, 2023, at an apartment complex in the Norwood district of Birmingham, Alabama, along the 3200 block of 17th Avenue North. During an intense confrontation, Aaniyah Nowden, visibly pregnant, pulled out a gun and aimed it at Justina. At that moment, Justina was holding her young daughter Skye in her arms. Nearby, her 2 young sons watched in horror as the conflict spiraled into a nightmare. Aaniyah fired the fatal shots, leaving Justina critically injured while her children were left traumatized. This heartbreaking moment was later confirmed through pictures and videos that surfaced on social media, further amplifying the grief and disbelief surrounding this tragic loss. Emergency responders from the Birmingham Fire and Rescue Service quickly arrived at the tragic scene, providing immediate care and rushing Justina Wallace to UAB Hospital for emergency treatment. Despite the tireless efforts of the medical team, her injuries proved fatal, and she passed away the next day, July 8, 2023, leaving her family and community devastated. Meanwhile, Aaniyah Nowden was promptly arrested by the police on the evening of the shooting and detained at the Birmingham City Jail. By Sunday, she was transferred to the Jefferson County Jail due to the gravity of her charges, a transition that occurred around 5:41 p.m., just 20 minutes before the birthday celebration Justina had planned for her daughter, Sky, was meant to begin. Nowden was formally charged with capital murder in the presence of a child, and prosecutors indicated she might face an additional charge of capital murder for causing the death of Justina's unborn child. On Monday, the case against 21-year-old Aaniyah Nowden took another turn during a bond hearing. Nowden, accused of fatally shooting 36-year-old Justina Wallace while Wallace held her 2-year-old daughter, Sky, has since become the focus of intense public scrutiny. Nowden, 8 months pregnant at the time of the hearing, has drawn widespread attention to the legal and emotional intricacies of the case. The tragic loss of Justina, a devoted mother of 5, has left an indelible impact on her loved ones and the community as the legal proceedings against Nowden continue to unfold. Aaniyah Nowden's attorney, Erskine Mathis, filed an urgent motion for an emergency bond hearing, bringing the case before Jefferson County Judge Alaric May. Mathis argued that Nowden, who had been hospitalized 3 days after her arrest due to complications from high blood pressure and preeclampsia, should be granted bond or released under electronic monitoring. He emphasized the importance of Nowden being allowed to remain with the father of her unborn child at least until the baby's birth, stating that this would give the child an opportunity to bond with its mother and start life with her present. Mathis elaborated on Nowden's living conditions at the Jefferson County Jail, highlighting the challenges she faced after being moved from the general population to the medical floor. According to Mathis, Nowden was confined to herself for 23 hours each day and permitted only 1 hour outside, in a large room shared with other inmates, many of whom were dealing with severe mental health issues. This environment, he explained, was terrifying for Nowden, who was subjected to constant noise and chaos, including individuals hollering and screaming, which only exacerbated her already fragile state. The defense highlighted that, despite the gravity of the charges against her, Aaniyah Nowden had no prior criminal record. Attorney Erskine Mathis argued that the case would ultimately be proven to be one of self-defense. He expressed confidence that once all the evidence was thoroughly examined, Nowden would be found not guilty. Mathis also pointed out that the father of Nowden's unborn child was present in the courtroom, visibly offering his support during the proceedings. The prosecution, led by Jefferson County Deputy District Attorney Dane Stewart, offered a starkly different perspective. Stewart underscored the severity of the charges, noting that Nowden faced capital murder for shooting Justina Wallace in the presence of her 2-year-old daughter, Sky, who stood just feet away during the tragic incident. He further stressed that Wallace's pregnancy at the time of her death could result in an additional capital murder charge, given the potential for multiple victims in the case. Stewart revealed a critical detail. In a post-Miranda statement to investigators, Nowden had admitted to shooting Wallace while fully aware she was holding her child. While the defense maintained a self-defense argument, Stewart emphasized that Nowden's own admission cast serious doubt on that claim, pointing to facts that suggested a more deliberate and damning narrative. The prosecution emphasized the gravity of the case, pointing out that both charges against Aaniyah Nowden carried the possibility of the death penalty. While Jefferson County Deputy District Attorney Don Stewart acknowledged the challenges of Nowden's pregnancy, he maintained there was no evidence to suggest she was not receiving appropriate medical care while in custody. Stewart argued that the severity of the charges, particularly given the presence of a child during the crime, warranted Nowden's continued detention without bond. After thoroughly reviewing the arguments presented by both sides, Judge Alaric May addressed the complexities of the case. While expressing compassion for Nowden's medical condition, he ultimately sided with the prosecution. Judge May underscored the seriousness of the charges, which included the potential for capital punishment, stating that he could not justify granting bond under such circumstances. "This is just a tragic situation," Judge May remarked, acknowledging the devastating nature of Justina Wallace's death and the emotional and legal intricacies of the case. Despite recognizing the difficulties Nowden faced, the judge affirmed that the weight of the charges precluded any possibility of release, leaving no room for leniency at this stage of the proceedings. As Judge May delivered his decision, a wave of emotion swept through the courtroom. Supporters of Aaniyah Nowden openly wept, visibly shaken by the ruling. Attorney Erskine Mathis reiterated his concerns about the potential risks of incarcerating a pregnant woman under the current conditions. Despite his impassioned plea, the judge ultimately rejected his argument. Judge May stood resolute, stating that the seriousness of the charges, especially given the possibility of a death penalty case, necessitated Nowden's continued detention without bond. His ruling was met with somber reactions, as tears filled the eyes of many in the courtroom. Yet, the judge remained steadfast, underscoring the gravity of the situation and the need for the legal process to take its course. The tragic case involving Aaniyah Nowden and Justina Wallace remains a deeply emotional and complex matter. Wallace's 5 children, particularly her 2-year-old daughter Sky, are left to grapple with the heartbreaking loss of their mother. Meanwhile, the legal proceedings move forward, leaving the community to wrestle with the weight of this tragedy and the uncertain future of the unborn child. The pursuit of justice for Justina Wallace continues, as her family and loved ones seek closure amid the ongoing turmoil. The aftermath of Justina Wallace's tragic shooting left her friends and family engulfed in profound grief and disbelief. In the close-knit Norwood neighborhood, loved ones continue to struggle with the devastating reality of her violent death. Nearly a week after the tragedy, her sister, Shamari Cook, shared her anguish, expressing her inability to fully grasp the brutal loss of her sister's life. Shamari described Justina as a dedicated mother who poured her energy into creating a better future for her 5 children. She was completely focused on her kids, Shamari said, reflecting on her sister's unwavering commitment to their well-being. She worked hard every day to give them the best future she could. Justina was doing well in life, and it hurts so much to know she won't be here to watch them grow up. Friends who were close to Justina have echoed similar sentiments of shock and heartbreak. Glamorous Mullen, who had developed a strong bond with Justina over the 2 years they knew each other, described the tragedy as mind-blowing. She admitted that the suddenness of events made it difficult to process the loss. "Everything happened so quickly," Glamorous explained, still grappling with the painful reality. Now, helping care for Justina's children, Glamorous revealed that she often finds herself unable to fully comprehend the situation, calling it a heartbreaking and surreal experience. The grief shared by Justina's loved ones highlights the enormous impact of her loss on everyone who knew her. Glamorous Moulin further reflected on her bond with Justina, describing her as a sweet girl who was more than just a friend. She was like a sister. Their closeness made the loss even more difficult to bear, and her grief was compounded by the heartbreak of seeing the impact on Justina's children. Friends of Justina have expressed deep concern for the well-being of her children, especially the three who tragically witnessed their mother's killing. Glamorous revealed that the children are struggling to cope with the loss, with the youngest, Sky, having the hardest time understanding what happened. The emotional toll on the children is profound, and their future is now clouded by this unimaginable trauma. James Lockhart, another close friend of Justina, shared his own memories, painting a vivid picture of her vibrant personality. "We spoke every day," he said, describing her as outgoing, loud, and full of life. He admired her dedication as a mother, emphasizing that she always went above and beyond for her kids. "She was loved by so many people," he added, lamenting the senseless tragedy that cut her life short. Lockhart's words, like those of others, highlight the deep void left by Justina's untimely death and the lasting impact on everyone who knew and loved her. Another close friend, Parker, described Justina as a unique individual who always stayed true to herself, refusing to conform to the crowd. "She was someone who walked her own path," Parker said, emphasizing Justina's authenticity and strength of character. Parker admired Justina's resilience as a mother, highlighting how she had faced numerous challenges, yet managed to raise her children with love, care, and determination. "She was an amazing mom," Parker added, "and to know her was to love her." Parker also shared the overwhelming shock still gripping those who knew Justina, describing her death as indescribable and unbelievable. Parker explained how friends are struggling to come to terms with the reality of what happened. The abrupt and violent loss of someone so full of life has left an emotional void that is hard to reconcile. Amid their grief, Justina's friends remain deeply concerned about the well-being of her children, particularly the three who witnessed their mother's tragic death. The emotional trauma they experienced is immense, and those closest to Justina are rallying to provide the children with love, stability, and support. Even as they grapple with their own sorrow, Justina's friends are united in their commitment to helping her children heal, hoping that over time they can begin to recover from this unimaginable tragedy. Shamari Cook, Justina's sister, spoke with a heavy heart about the brutal and senseless nature of her sister's death. Reflecting on the act of violence, she remarked, "People may reach breaking points, but I can't comprehend how anyone could take someone else's life." She poignantly added that once someone is gone, they're gone forever, a loss that brings a pain that cannot be undone. As loved ones continue to mourn Justina's untimely death, their focus has shifted to her children, ensuring they are surrounded by love and support during this unimaginable time. Justina's memory lives on in the hearts of her family and friends, even as they struggle to reconcile her vibrant spirit with the senseless violence that ended her life. On Sunday, friends and family gathered to celebrate the second birthday of Sky Moore, Justina's youngest child, whose life has been forever altered by this tragedy. The celebration, filled with cake, balloons, and presents, was bittersweet. While it was an effort to honor Sky's special day and keep her spirits high, the weight of sadness lingered in the air, casting a shadow over what should have been a purely joyful occasion. It was a poignant reminder of the love Justina had for her children and the enduring impact of her loss. Despite the immense grief that weighed heavily on everyone, the decision to proceed with Sky's birthday party was both difficult and purposeful. Friends of Justina, many of whom had shared deep bonds with her, believed it was what she would have wanted, to ensure her children's spirits remained lifted, even in the aftermath of such a profound tragedy. Angel Weatherspoon, a close friend of Justina's, described the gathering as bittersweet. While they aimed to celebrate Sky's life, the heartbreak of Justina's absence loomed large over the occasion, an inescapable reminder of the loss they were all grappling with. Charkelia Parker, another friend, spoke fondly of Justina's vibrant personality and zest for life. "Justina did everything big," Parker said, adding that the group's efforts to make Sky's Day special were a way of continuing Justina's legacy. Ensuring the children felt loved and supported was their collective way of honoring the mother who had always given her all to create a bright future for them. For everyone gathered at the celebration, the focus was clear: the children. It was about preserving their joy, even amidst overwhelming sorrow. For Sky, this birthday would forever carry a dual significance, a poignant reminder of her mother's deep love and an enduring symbol of the loss that had shaped her early years. Through the pain, Justina's friends and family were united in their commitment to ensuring her children carried forward the love and strength she had instilled in them. The loss of Justina Wallace has left her young children facing a heartbreaking reality. Growing up without their mother's loving presence, it is a tragic outcome to a situation that could have and should have been avoided. No life should ever be lost over a conflict, especially not one fueled by jealousy or anger. And no fleeting emotions are worth spending a lifetime behind bars. Our hearts ache for Justina's children as they navigate life without her. We sincerely hope they receive the love, care, and support they need to heal and grow into the best versions of themselves, carrying forward the strength and values their mother instilled in them. To her friends and family, our deepest condolences go out to you in this time of immeasurable loss. May Justina's memory serve as a blessing to all who knew and loved her. May her life, and even her untimely death, stand as a call for justice and a reminder of the urgent need to protect survivors of gun violence. Let this tragedy inspire us to build a world where such senseless loss becomes a thing of the past. Please stay safe, hold your loved ones close, and take care of one another. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might find it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.